can feel it down in my plums. When I hear a sound, a rap at the door, my young son Gabriel walks in.
Well, welcome back to Let the Boys Watch, an entertainment podcast brought to you by Going Gray Productions. Today we'll be discussing the season finale of the Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon. Season 2, Episode 8, The Queen, Whoever Was. House of the Dragon stars Matt Smith, Emma Darcy, Olivia Cooke, Rhys Ifans, Steve Toussaint, Matthew Needham, Ewan Mitchell, and Tom Glynn-Carney. I want to be close to him as Robbie, and alongside me is the cousin Benny. Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the muffin to you.
And
Not to
alongside
To you.
Yes, it is.
and alongside the cuz and myself, friend, co-host Ryan. How we doing?
Man, I've been better. I'm sick. I had to subject myself to an hour plus of some things on Sunday, but I'm very excited to hear what everyone thinks coming up. So yeah, like Robbie said, this is Let the Boys Watch. Currently, we are watching House of the Dragon, and next week we are back with movies. So if you, Robbie is so excited. If you are not following us on Instagram, get on it because you can get involved in the votes. We're going to put 3-4 movies up for a vote. We'll watch whatever you guys decide upon, and we'll talk about that. Typically, it's movies that one or all of us have never seen, usually like popular movies that it's like, how'd you never seen this? What's wrong with you? We've also done some stuff on The Bear and The Boys, so check those out on YouTube. And send us an email, ltbwpodcast@gmail.com. And Benny, add on to what I just said about the YouTube, please.
Well, I mean, before I touch on the YouTube, I do want to say there will be no poll this week, even though it's our return to movies, because it is my birthday selection.
Oh, that's
this
right.
week. And depending on how well you two behave today, we're going to see what kind of movie I select for my birthday. So you better be on your best behavior.
I forgot.
But
Who cares?
to all, but to all, I think that means it's going to be a Stan Lee movie. But to all of you out there watching or listening, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Let the Boys Watch. It costs you nothing. You could see our faces. It's just a fantastic channel. We have that exclusive content we did on The Bear and The Boys, and we'd love to see you there. Leave some comments. We got a couple of nice comments the last couple of weeks, so it feels good. So follow us on YouTube at Let the Boys Watch.
I forgot. That's an exciting way to get back into movies. I love it. Although we'll see what movie you pick.
We're bringing it back. Godzilla -1 again.
Oh, no, thank you.
Rewatch.
No. So for those of you maybe just joining us for the first time, just so you're aware, we will not get into book spoilers. This is only discussion about House of the Dragon seasons 1 and 2, maybe a little Game of Thrones talk, but nothing from the books. So we're not going to spoil any future events or characters or whatever like that. And again, if you please get involved in the conversation, send us an email, send us a message. What we'll do on this show is talk about our overall impressions, give it a rating. Maybe should we do a season rating as well? So maybe 2 ratings this week, or
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
And then we'll do 7 questions for the 7 kingdoms, and then who sat on the copper throne this week, or Iron Throne, either way. So who wants to start with their overall impressions of The Queen Whoever Was, the season 2, episode 8 season finale of House of the Dragon?
I think we should go Ryan.
Yes.
And then Robbie.
Okay.
And then me.
Okay. I'm cool with that. Robbie, you cool with that?
Who cares?
Stanley. Okay. Listen, I really love this universe. Um, Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, read those books. Um, the shows, I love it. But this season finale was an absolute punch to my dick. Uh, the season as a whole was idling. It was a few good points, but overall, nothing happened super exciting. Um, I I've been back and forth the last couple days, like just thinking about what I thought about this, and I've gone from like angry to accepting to just whatever, like Robbie would say, who cares? Um, yeah, it's upsetting, and I think we'll get into some of the maybe reasons why it is what it was. But yeah, this was a rough season finale. It was a decent episode if there were more episodes to follow. It was a weak season finale, and overall, I would say a weak season. And I'm kind of upset. Now, will I be back for season 3? Absolutely. I will be back with my shirts and whatever else, whatever fan club gear I got. But it's on a short leash. I'll say that right now. Robbie, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. If this was episode 7, that'd be great. If this was episode 6, it would be a great episode. It was a good episode, but not what I think everybody was expecting. This season in general was a slog for me. It was there were things that I didn't agree with. If you were gonna, you know, have this episode and end it like it was, then why not show some other battles in the season that you kind of glossed over? Why not do that? Um, you know, maybe expound on some things. Maybe less Damon stuff. The the werewood tree and the vision didn't, I didn't care. I mean, I know what happens. I get it. And you're not supposed to know what happens because this is a prequel. But for a viewer like me, I was like, I don't care. The White Walker looked like somebody who smoked maybe 30 packs of cigarettes every day of his life. I didn't care about seeing Daenerys. I didn't care about all that stuff. I didn't care about Damon's visions. And all of a sudden he's ready to fight for Rhaenyra. I get that. But I don't know. There was the pacing for the season was bad. There were some parts where I thought there should have been more storyline to it. Probably with the dragons. I felt like a lot of things were kind of rushed through, and I don't get it. I don't understand the reasoning for 8 episodes. Then why not make? I don't understand where, as America, we've decided that 8 episodes is the norm for series all of a sudden. If that's the case. Um, this would have been like again, this would have been a fantastic episode if it was episode 6. Um, the penultimate episode was whatever. I get it. Maybe that's not what Game of Thrones is about anymore. But then you have to do something here. I think I said, "What the fuck just happened?" when the credits rolled, because I was like, now they're just joking with me. I'm tired of hearing people online saying, the long game, the big setup. This is TikTok generation now. You have to grab people's attention. Nobody's sticking around for 2 seasons of nothing and just doing, and then all of a sudden we're going to come out. You can't. Again, now we're promising major battles in season 3. I get it, but you could have did a little bit better for this season. Overall, thought it was a good episode, but I don't know, man. This was very, very disappointing. It was 8 weeks of slow, painful death for me, and save for a few episodes, and whole lot of nothing happened. And I don't want to hear that they're setting you up for the long game. Because if somebody says to me, I'm going to take the long night and hang myself and never come back.
I think that they went with 8 episodes this season because this episode was a 10, and that's where they decided to end on
You
a
can't do
10.
better than that.
No, in some ways I agree for sure. I mean, I don't think it was their decision from what I've read to only have 8 episodes. I think they wrote this season with 10 episodes in mind, and they kind of had to cut it short. And there were a couple things they decided to push to next season because they cut budget or whatever. But that doesn't necessarily excuse it in a way. I think it fell flat. Um, But as far as the episode goes, I enjoyed it. I liked the Damon stuff. I think it completely paid off. 8 episodes of him dicking around there. No, but I thought it was a cool end to his arc. I did enjoy the Rhaenyra arc throughout the whole season to where she's fully on board with going to war now. It just sucks that we started hot with another son dying right in the first episode. We got a couple crazy dragon battles, a couple battles hot in the beginning of the season. You kind of left off the first season thinking, all right, it's go time. Like this is going to get nuts. And here we are at the end of season 2. And what this whole thing is about, this civil war between the family really hasn't kicked off. And we're 2 seasons in. And the thing about HBO and the thing about Game of Thrones and this universe is bad episodes of this show are so much better than 95% of TV and movies. And I'm trying to appreciate them on that level. But I can't sit here and say it's without you can't criticize it because I can fully understand why people criticize it. I'm the only thing that's keeping me from blowing my stack completely is that we're getting another Game of Thrones universe show in between this and when the next season of House of the Dragon is coming out, because we're now waiting 4 years essentially from the season 1 finale to where, okay, it's going to get crazy, to when, okay, it's actually getting crazy now, is kind of unacceptable. And it's kind of, like you said, a kick in the dick, like not great. But we're going to get some more stuff to kind of hold us over. I like the episode, a little disappointed with the season, although I like the story they were telling. I think they just didn't stick the landing on the season.
Yeah. I mean, I think I get that it can't just be all battles and fights. Like, and to your point, I agree. Like, the cinematography, the music, the acting for the most part. There's a couple people I didn't love this season. The sets, like the costumes, everything is so good, but I don't if the story sucks, like I don't care like how great the production is, but you're right, it's still better than most things, regardless.
I don't think the story sucked in any way. That's the
No,
thing. Like,
I'm exaggerating a little bit. I don't think it sucked, but like, or the story itself sucks. I think it's just this season in and of itself was not done properly, and it could have been the same exact season if they just gave us some more confrontation. I think Robbie said a number of times, like, this is the show of like off-screen things. And I agree. It's like, even this episode, Sharp's point, you can't give me 30 seconds of Amon burning down that town, or
yeah,
like the Blackwoods and the Brackens, or any of these other things that are just happening off screen. I get it, it's budget constraints, but like, don't have a premiere show if you're not gonna go full on like balls to the wall. Like, spend the fucking money and make this show like what it should be.
yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even really think about the sharp point thing. Like that could have been a nice way to give us something.
Something. But
Yeah, less Selena and Chef, and more money towards your meat and potato shows.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of. I was pretty upset when I read that like the the showrunner and the writers were planning on 10 episodes and it got cut back and they had to push stuff. So does that, I don't know. I don't know where to lay the blame at, because am I supposed to blame these writers that had a story to tell and they told it well and they didn't want to rush things, which was everybody's complaint from the end of Game of Thrones, is you rush through everything. And they said, okay, these are the plot points we want to hit in the first 8 episodes. And they stuck to it and they pushed things out. And do I blame them for that, or do I blame HBO? And to me, I'm going to choose to blame HBO in this situation, because it seems like they did a lot of budget cuts across a lot of different things. And in a way, I kind of appreciate the fact that Ryan Condal held to his guns and didn't say, I'm going to just rush through some things because I want to have blow up scenes at the end of the season. So I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. Like I said, I'm happy with the story. I'm intrigued by it. I want to keep going with it. I really do think I don't feel like I'm getting suckered into saying, okay, well, we just wait until next season. But it's also we got nothing in 2023. We're probably going to get nothing in 2025. And now it's 4 years from the beginning of the show to finally get going. Like I think that's the thing that sits with me the worst. And the only saving grace is knowing we're going to get something in between.
Maybe we'll get Winds of Winter.
I was in the back of my mind when the credits rolled, and I was like, ugh, I wanted more. I thought that was the perfect setup to do like one last major scene. And I was like, all right, well, maybe we'll get Winds of Winter getting announced here. No luck.
No. All right, let's do some scores, and then we'll get into questions, and then maybe some more discussion. Does anyone want to score first? So we'll do the episode and then the season as a whole.
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead.
I feel like I'm boxed
Mine
in a
worked out.
little. Yeah, I feel like I'm boxed in a little bit because of the scores I've given this season. But again, I do really appreciate the show, the acting, and the storytelling. But I was really hoping to go in like this was going to be like a nines episode for me, but it wasn't. But I still really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it more than last week, aside from the disappointment at the end. So I'm just gonna tie last week and say 8.6. Just because again, I'm just so invested that I did like how a lot of the arcs ended this season going into next season.
Fair. All right, we'll go around and then we'll come back for season grades. Give you a second to think. Robbie, you want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, and it's not about battles and stuff like that. I'm just not invested in these guys, in these people. Nobody is endearing or intriguing for me. I ran through like 4 or 5 episodes last night of season 8 of Game of Thrones, and I was just like, man, what a difference. Even though it was rushed, I mean, it was just, I don't know, far and away better than what I'm getting on this show. It really is. I mean, you could say what you want. It's just so much better. I don't care for anybody in this show. Nobody's endearing. Like, it's just not, the scheming isn't anything. Like the politics isn't anything. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what it is. I really wanted to give this episode a 1. I really did, because I hate this series so much. And I know I sound like an idiot, but I can't stand it. But I'll give it a 7 because I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah. No, I mean, agree too. Like, I wonder if a big reason why I was so invested with Thrones was because of the books as well, like reinforcing just the universe in and of itself. And I haven't read Fire and Blood yet. Benny, I think I'm actually going to read it after like this at some point. Just, I don't know.
I mean, I'm going through the books again. So I mean, by the time we get this next season, I'll probably
Done.
move on to Fire and Blood as well. So
Yeah.
I'm probably with you there.
Maybe Dunk and Egg.
The first few of those were really good.
Yeah. No, very enjoyable. But yeah, like I agree, Robbie. It's not necessarily about the battles. Like, yeah, I brought up Sharp's Point, or some other battles, but I want more confrontation. Again, doesn't have to be battles, could be politicking, scheming. I want to love some of these characters, like something. Yeah, see, Benny's giving me the thumbs up. He agrees. And it's just not the same. And again, I'll be back with bells on for season 3. But I'm definitely disappointed with this season. So this episode, as an episode, like 8.1 for an episode, But as a season finale, like 6.8 or something, like somewhere in there. So I'm gonna kind of split the difference and just say like 7.5. I'm sorry, Benny, you had to cross something out. 7.5 for this episode, just because as an episode it was decent, but as a season finale it was maybe, I mean, 6.8 is even generous. Like that was disappointing. And then just overall season, what do you guys think?
You want to go Snake? Start us off.
Sure. Overall, 7.0. And that, I don't know, that I feel like that's high, but like it's hard to Benny, you said it, it's hard to like really tank this show because of everything else and how much I do, or how much I'm invested in this universe. And maybe my score will change after a couple days, a week, whatever, thinking about it, but it was upsetting. This season was upsetting.
Oh, yeah. I like to preface that it's not about the battles for me again. I keep on saying that. If people
Right.
think that, like, oh, well, people think what? 7 people that watch this? I mean, if people think that it's about the battle, it's not about the battles for me. Like, I just finished Severance and absolutely loved it. And there was no battles. Uh, it's just, I don't know. I can't give anybody a pass. I mean, yeah, maybe there was a writer's strike. I get that. But it just wasn't there for me. This entire season was just all over the place. Yeah, I love set pieces. I love some of these actors. I mean, CGI and the graphics, amazing. But again, it's like you're building to something, right? You're building to something this entire season, you're building to it. And then you don't give me anything. Not like you give me nothing. And it's just like, come on, man. It's like it's just ridiculous. And like you said, now you have to wait 2 more years for this. It's like I don't know. I don't know. It's disappointing. It's disappointing because I felt like there's some throwaway episodes here. Like nothing was concise. I mean, I get it, I understand, but like there was just a lot of things missed. Again, like I said, you're throwing if there's throwaway scenes that you could have put into these episodes. A couple battles here and there. I don't think it's a tremendous budget to go crazy for stuff, but I don't know, dude. Well, 6.1 for the season, and that's being generous.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go lower than that.
I was gonna go like 5.5. You know what? 5.5. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. Sorry. 5.5. I'm sorry you had to cross it out.
It's okay. Again, yeah, I'm very torn because like so much of the criticisms people had were about not like I said, rushing things and not caring about the relationships. And I thought that they really tried hard in this show to like give you kind of a lot of the reasons why these people were acting the way that they were. I liked the arcs in this season. It doesn't mean I'm not disappointed in it still. Like I liked how we started off with Damon being, seeming like he's going to go on his own, going through his little acid trip and then coming out on the other side of it after seeing, like Helena says that you're just part of the story, and him actually understanding that and bending the knee to Rhaenyra and giving her that moment and like essentially putting so much more power into her than he could have ever done if he had just said it from the beginning. He made believers out of some of the doubters that she had in front of him. Rhaenyra trying so hard to not make this as violent as it could be, and then coming out the other side of it. I liked, even the Kristen Cole stuff, like towards the end, I still dislike him, but like just after what he went through at Rook's Rest to the way he is now as a character, I thought a lot of Aegon from the shit he was in the beginning to where he is now, even Laris like becoming more complicated and like, okay, what does this guy really have up his sleeve now? And them leaving, like there was a lot of good stories, and but that still doesn't mean I wasn't extremely happy with how the season ended. So again, it's hard for me to give it a bad score. And again, like if I look back at all the scores I gave each episode just based on itself. It's odd to me that I'm gonna come under that score average wise, but I don't know. I feel like you need some type of cliffhanger or some type of, and even I don't know, some type of betrayal, some type of murder at the end of the season to like really get you like, oh shit. And like you still got that oh shit, like all the pieces have been moved a lot. There's been a lot of check, 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 but now it really seems like everybody is where they need to be for this thing to pop off. It sucks that that's where we got left off after a whole season of feeling like that. So I'm going to go a long way to say I'm going to give it an 8 as a season because again, if I sit and think about it, and maybe I'm just so invested in this universe, and maybe I really enjoy the story, and I'm reading the books at the same time again, and I'm kind of like caught back up in the romanticism of all the lore. And I will always say that I think the Targaryens to the book readers is so much more interesting to the people that just watch the show because the show did a terrible job explaining the Targaryens. And like there was always a throwaway thing, and you had Daenerys kind of out on this island doing weird stuff and so disconnected from everybody. And then she comes back, goes crazy, and burns the city and dies. And like there's so much other Targaryen stuff that, you know, we're finally getting like in a visual medium that I'm excited for. So I'm just happy that I'm getting this series, and I'm happy that the amount of effort that they're putting into it, as opposed to D&D, who kind of just seemed like they just wanted to go do a Star War and kind of just gave up at the end. So I'm being optimistic still, even though I got to wait more time and giving it an 8 and saying like Ryan, I'll be there season 3, episode 1, ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say before we get into our questions?
Let's get into the questions.
All right. Because this week, the questions, there's, plot questions, but a lot of it is, you'll say. So, question 1, and we already kind of talked a little bit about it, but I just want to touch upon it again. This is, I think we're all in agreement, right? This was clearly episode 8 of a 10 episode season.
That's what it seems like.
Right? Now, I mean, I think it seems like that's what's come out from, in the news or whatever, the internet. And it seems like the issue, which you kind of brought up, well, both of you kind of brought up, the issue was HBO was like, nah, too expensive, cut a few episodes. And the problem was during that period was the writer strike. So they technically, now I don't know the rules, but they technically couldn't rewrite anything. So like when that kind of stuff happens, like I feel like they had to do something. Right? Like you can't look at this 8 episode just cut off. It's like you get a big hero sandwich and they cut off, 20% of it, and you're like,
Please.
where's the rest of the sandwich?
Not my America.
Right? So
I
like
want
That was Joe
100%.
Biden's America.
maybe. But like, so I mean, I don't really have a specific question necessarily for this, but like, what are your thoughts on this? Like the fact that, again, corporate America fucks us and we just have to eat it and wait 2 years for,
So
episode season 3.
that's what it is. It's just like, okay, who cares? Who's gonna get mad at us? They'll be back.
Yeah.
They'll be back. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, I get the writer strike, and they were filming during the writer strike, I think. But it's just lazy.
Just as a point, I'm sorry to cut you off and I'll let you finish, but the actors could still act because they're in a UK union. So that strike didn't affect them because the writer strike, yes, maybe, but they could film and act and stuff like that because they're in a different union. But go ahead, finish up.
Good on you. It's just I mean that's what it is. I mean that's no excuse. I mean that's just not caring, or that's just kind of being lazy. HBO, get a better business model in. Stop spending money on shit. Everybody needs to just stop spending money on shit and taking advantage of people. You don't need to do every single show in America and pay every single actor. If the quality of the show stinks, I don't feel bad for HBO. I think it's an excuse that they're using. Yeah, maybe they needed to cut back on a budget, but I mean, don't spend like a lunatic then. I mean, that's the issue I have here. But again, it doesn't matter because people just do what they want to do, and they know that people will be back. No matter how shitty this season was, you'll be back in 2025, episode one, ready to go. And everything will be forgotten if they deliver on a fantastic season, which I'm sure they will. But again, it doesn't matter. Whatever they did, they didn't care doing it. Every excuse they have in the book doesn't matter. Budgets, writer strikes, it doesn't matter. We'll be back. We'll watch it. And if season three is fantastic, we'll forget all about season two and the shit that was. So that's what it is. And that happens in every aspect of America, not just HBO.
Well, yeah, I think it's a two-part thing where they don't, yes, they don't need to cut budget. Let's be perfectly honest. Like HBO does not need to cut budget. Like if it was an extra $10 million, that's nothing to them. It would, but it's probably trying to make the bottom line look better for other, shareholders and meetings and
Investors.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they also, I think part of them was like, well, we cut 2 episodes here, we cut 2 episodes on the next season. You said it was going to be 3 seasons, but now you got 4 extra to play with. Can you do a 4th season and maybe stretch this out a little bit? Because they know this is one of their flagship series, and it's obvious we're getting a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, we're getting animated series, there's that Nymeria series that's supposedly supposed to come out. There was going to be the Snow one that they canceled. So I don't know. I never buy it when when a company says that they have to make budget cuts. Well, they could have cut one of the other side shows then and be like, you know what, we don't need to do one of the animated shows. Like, we're really liking where this is going. Let's, if money's that much of an issue, let's just dump more into this show, because you see how much Game of Thrones made for them. Like, why couldn't this be the same thing for them? I just felt like it's short-sighted. But
Agree.
again, I'm not the one on this podcast with an MBA. Just saying.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Could use it. Could have used it.
No, but like, to both of your points, like, so okay, if this is one of the flagship shows, then like, how can you like put out an inferior product? Like, shouldn't this be like, you want this to be perfect and everyone to love it? Like, did anyone watch this and be like, but I guess at that point you're like, well, we can't call everyone back to film 2 episodes or whatever. I think it was just a number of factors. Maybe it wasn't completely just on HBO. Maybe it was some of the creatives. I don't know, but it's disappointing, and they're gonna stretch it out into an extra season. But it's so stupid, like you said, it's short-sighted, because if they fumble the bag now, then people aren't gonna stick around. Yes, we're gonna come back season 3, but like eventually people will leave. Look at like The Walking Dead or like a show like that. Like, people will leave eventually.
That's where I'm not like, I can't crush it, because like Walking Dead, I could tell you the exact moment where I was like, this show is effing stupid now. They're doing the same thing over and over again. It's been 7 seasons of the same thing. It's this person gets faked out that they die, and then 2 episodes later they're back. They found somebody, and it was like enough of the same thing. And like, in a way, I almost think the 2 years off is going to help them, because people are going to right now probably like, I'm annoyed with how this season ended. But then in 2 years, when you see the we declare for the blacks hanging up at 7-Eleven, in Manhattan, you'd be like, oh yeah, oh, it's coming back. Like, it's going to be so long that you're going to forget all these feelings that you had, and you'd be like, all right, I'm back in. And even if you're not back in, they're going to come out hot in the first 2 episodes, and the hype train is going to start again for it, and there's going to be enough people to then pull those people back in. Whereas opposed, if you did it a year from now, people might be like, you know what, they screwed me over. But if you make them wait 2 years, I honestly think a lot of people are going to forget how they feel right now and jump back in.
I don't know. Robbie, are you coming back, or are you gonna wait and see, or are you completely done?
I'm 100%. I'm 100% coming back. I'm back. I'm coming back. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They got my juices flowing with this battle about to come. The battle of, I don't know,
Who gives a
Sheboygan,
shit?
whatever the fucking name of the battle of who gives a shit, whatever it's called. The battle of the gullet. I don't know. I'm hearing on the internet. So I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm back. I'll be back in 2 years, God willing. I'm still alive, and maybe not. God willing, I'm fucking dead and gone in a ditch somewhere.
Then you won't have to
But
worry about it.
yeah, then I don't care. But no, it's
The last thing
the,
you're going to say when
the
you're in that ditch is like, they made me wait for what?
2 years for nothing. It's the I always hate the budget talk because it's just bullshit. It's bullshit. It's when ESPN makes the budget cuts and they're firing everybody, and then they hire Pat McAfee for $17 million a year. It does that, or when corporations have to do layoffs, and then they fucking hire a fucking consulting firm for fucking $3 million to get everything back ready to go again.
And
It's
Lady
all bullshit.
Gaga's at the year-end meeting event.
Yeah, handing out watermelon martinis. Like it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Yeah, there's some companies that really need to cut budget and do go under. Yeah, but 95% of the time, it's just bullshit. It doesn't matter, and I hate hearing it because it's a lazy excuse, and I don't think anybody believes it. But again, we're suckers. We have you know, a short-sighted mind, and that's it. And we'll be back and ready to go once calls hopefully goes in Neverland and will never be seen again, and then we'll all be happy, and then that's it.
That's it. And I'm not making an excuse for the season with that. I'm putting my flag down as saying I'm with the writers and the showrunners. Like, I think that they have the shows and the source material's best intention in mind, and they got screwed over thinking that they had 10 episodes and it got cut down to 8.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt as well. Like, I
Yeah.
think if they landed the plane this season, maybe with 2 more episodes, I think my tune, I don't know about everyone's tune, but my tune would be different, even though there was some issues throughout the middle of the season that I had. But now, we gotta wait, and that's what's making me upset mostly.
And it's almost like they spun the wheels so much that if they tried to find a point to end it in 8 episodes, like, clearly 9 and 10 were going to be crazy episodes. Like, what could have happened in 15 minutes in this episode that you wouldn't have been like, still kind of blue balls? Like, we got one major battle where there's obviously still a lot of stuff to come if they're planning on another season or two.
Yeah.
So, like, what would have been that Jace getting Luke getting eaten moment here? Because it's pretty much from this point on like all out war. Like, you're getting the meat and potatoes after this. So I don't know if there was necessarily a spot to where they could have left us feeling fulfilled.
I mean, I think they could have with 2 more episodes, but
Right. That's what I'm
if
saying. If
they
you had 2 more hours, you could
right.
have gotten to a point.
But I don't know when in the process of filming they found out they were only doing 8. And then I don't know how hamstrung they were to like rewrite things, because I don't again, I don't know, but like maybe they could have done something, like take out a few scenes of Damon tripping. Like, we get it. Like what you said, I like the arc fine. I think the ending of it was kind of stupid because it was like he was tripping and
How much of that middle stuff really contributed to where he ended up at?
really not much at all, or
Like,
a number of different things. Even the stupid in this episode, do you really have to introduce Lohar now? Is that necessary now? No, I don't need this. Like, might have been a funny scene in episode 1 of season 3 or whatever, but like, you wasting 10 minutes on mud wrestling and stuff. Like, yeah, it was like kind of funny and entertaining, but like, couldn't you potentially have done something else with that? It doesn't have to be a battle. Have something.
it could have been the sharp
Even
point there. I think that that's a really good
something.
point. Is it like that would have gone a long way, to have
Agreed.
them show that.
Something. I don't know. Whatever. All right, we're gonna. This is gonna be a long episode. Let's move on. Question 2: If you were burned as badly as Aegon, would you fuck off to Essos with the goat fuckers, or would you stay in King's Landing, away from Laris, with the burned up dick? Thoughts?
I'm cleaning out the coffers. I'm taking every last golden dragon, and I'm out to Essos. And I'm saying,
Yeah.
screw you. Enjoy the empty bank. I'm out of here. I'm retiring.
Okay. I mean, there's probably child fighting in Essos, right?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Cares about the kids? I'm going to Essos, finding the best maces in town, and trying to get my penis back together. Because
there's a lot of blood magic going on over there. You might be able to get one back.
tell me about it. I just want to live out the rest of my days sucking and fucking, and that's it. And I'm going to do that in Essos. And hopefully they got a couple of golf courses over there. I don't know about the terrain over there, but I'm out. I don't care anymore. I'm trying to run away from my brother. It's almost like here when I got a cousin that's trying to backstab me and kill me. I mean, forget about it.
Tell me which cousin it is, Rob. I'll go take him down for you.
Oh my God, let me think about it. I'll let you know in a few. No, I'm out. I'm out. I'm gone. I'm done with that life.
Yeah. No. Same. I get his sentiment, like, I'll just arrest him. Like, but Laris isn't wrong. But maybe you then sue for peace, because like there's no way you're winning with 0 dragons or something. I don't know. But I think fucking off is a good idea. But then you're with Laris. I don't know. He's gonna look at my feet, my burned up feet.
My lord, let me see how burnt up your penis actually is.
Let me see. Wait. Hold on. Let me see one more time.
That's it. That's it.
Pee on your leg for me. All right. The next question, not so much a question, but it is a comment on how so many people suck. Aemon sucks. He sucks now.
And stupid and dumb.
Stupid, dumb.
And a military idiot.
Letting the small folk just starve. Who gives a shit? Fuck them. I'm gonna go burn Sharp Point, and like, I mean, the fact that we didn't say it was bullshit, but stupid. Cole, agree. I liked his arc, but he still sucks. Ulf fucking sucks.
Oh, please.
Go.
I mean, I'll let you guys handle Ulf because don't get me started.
No. You go. He was your whatchamacallit this week. He sat your iron throne.
What a dick. All right. This guy, man, has no courtesy at all. If the queen invites you to her table, you're gonna do your C rank stand-up comedy routine. I mean, please, it's not even a tight 5. Like, you've never workshopped any of these jokes. What are you doing? Like, you're bombing in front of the person that could have you eaten by a dragon in 13 seconds if she wanted to. I'm 100% on board. He's doing something. He's going to be the person that turns on them and does something stupid. He's going to get his little fifis hurt, and he's going to go, well, I'm going to go to the other side then with the dragons. Ugh, I hate this guy so much. Aemon, let me get to him.
Yeah, please.
I like the Aemon stuff.
I like the stuff, but he sucks.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I think he had a couple big victories early on, and he was feeling himself. And yeah, the pants got a little tight, and he's finding out real quick. Just you only got one speed, and you can't dial it back. And he's learning right now that that's really not going to work. You're a bulldozer, and you need some fine grained sandpaper to get your issues resolved here. And I loved his acting in this episode. I think that was one of the best parts of this episode. Him and Helena, like, did not know that those were the scenes that what I was missing, because the two of them knocked it out of the park together. I loved at the end of the episode where he was like threatening her, and she tells him, like, no matter what you do, it's not going to change anything. And he's got that one tear waiting to come out. Oh, fantastic. It was so good. I was so good. I loved seeing the two of them together.
Great. Any thoughts on Ulf, Robbie?
Oh, please forget about it. I fucking hate Ulf. What a soft piece of shit he is. I mean, it's unbelievable. Last week he didn't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And now all of a sudden he's the cock of the talk.
Yeah,
He's the big wig.
Eating birds at the table.
Yeah, he wants more birds. He's filling
More
up
them
on
little
birds.
birds, please.
Ugh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait till he gets his comeuppance. I really can't. I mean, forget about it. I mean, I told you a couple weeks ago I was back on Christian Cole. I mean, I'm all in. That's the guy, the best in the business. I'm all in on him. Helena, I'm all in on Helena. One of my favorite characters. I didn't think that when I left this episode, A, I was going to be happy that it was over, and B, I was going to be Team Helena. I'm all about it, and I can't wait. So, yeah. I mean, do not get me started on the the arc, the entire character development from season 1 to season 8 with Allison, because that might
Also
make me want to
sucks.
run into the traffic and what 110 and just lay down like the old program will be right in the middle of the road, because that was disgusting.
Yeah, she's on my list. So next, Allison on my list. She sucks. Corliss sucks.
Stinks.
Everything about him this season stinks, and I hate.
Horrible.
High hopes for Corliss in this season.
Me
I
too.
really had high hopes, and I get it. I get the whole I don't want to say toxic masculinity, but like he just can't admit that he fucked up big. And like, even though he's trying to do right by these two kids, like, I get the two of their names confused. Alan?
Alan is the bald one.
Yeah, Alan gave it to him. And
Loved
that's
it.
the second time this season where we see one of his kids or, one of his younger relatives just give it to him. And he had nothing to say. And the first time I think he gained just as much respect. And, I don't know where it's going to end with Alan. But I mean, if he's willing to offer a Bela drift mark, then I feel like that's where we're going to go with Alan. If he ends up surviving, God knows who survives. It's probably going to be nobody. But even with Adam, I think we need a really strong showing from Corliss next season. And the Allison stuff, I liked. She sucks the worst. I mean, she thinks that she's that typical person where you get into like a fight or you have a grudge with them and they get uncomfortable, and now it's time for it all to end because I'm uncomfortable now. So now I have to come to you and say, all right, we've all done enough, haven't we?
That's
Like
it, right?
just
Yeah.
let us
Cool.
leave. We're good. Right. But yeah, 3 episodes ago, she was ready to take everybody's heads on Team Black.
Stinks.
Yeah, that's the thing that annoyed me the most. Like, okay, now we just forget about everything that happened in the past because you're a little, verklempt now and you want everything to end because you're scared. You shit in your britches. Like, I hate shit like that. Like, I don't know. That annoyed me. That's why, I've been out on her this entire season and I'm completely out on her. There's not a lot of people left for me. I think Helena is the only one left for me.
Great you bring that up, because question 4, Helena doesn't suck. I agree with you, Robbie. She's like maybe one of my favorite characters right now. I think she might be my favorite.
Yeah, the best. I mean, that was like what Benny said. Like, it doesn't matter what you do to me. Nothing is going to change the outcome of this.
Right.
And I love that. I think that was one of the most Stone Cold lines in this entire Game of Thrones universe. I loved it. I thought it was great because it's the truth. She has these visions, and it doesn't matter what Damon can slit her throat right there. It's not gonna. I'm sorry. Aemon can slit her throat right there. It's not gonna matter. He's still gonna die a potentially ugly death. So I love it. I love her. I think she was fantastic the entire season. I think she acted great. I think she acted great in this scene. The toughness that she showed here, the timidness and how scared she was in those scenes, at the church and, in the whatever in town. I thought it was great. I thought she was fantastic this entire season. I really it was a bright spot for me. I enjoyed everything about her.
Yeah, I enjoyed how just her arc just from the beginning to be like this timid, weird, like doesn't really talk except for saying like random things that don't mean anything until they do 7 episodes later, to like standing up to these people, and not because she went and did something horrible. Like she found her power without having to be terrible. And she was able to stand up to Aemond. And I don't know what's going on with her popping up in Damon's visions. Like, what does
Right.
that mean? Like, was that actually her, or is it just kind of part of his
Yeah.
vision, or was that like really something that she was kind of involved in? I love it. That's the kind of stuff I'm here for. I love the trippy stuff and the visions, and like I said, the prophecies earlier in the season when we were talking about that stuff, because it never means what you think it means. Um, so yeah, let's go, Helena. At one of the MVPs of the season, and she really only had a strong showing the last couple episodes, but
Right.
it's like that. It's like that player that puts the team over the hump and gets them into the playoffs, and they're like, you know what, we got to give him MVP.
Gotta do it. You
God,
know who else was fantastic this season? Simon Strong also doesn't suck.
the best.
Yeah.
Some of the best reactions on the show. Yeah,
Just the
his
side eye. Loved it.
yeah, his reactions to the whole Damon and Rhaenyra stuff was hilarious.
Yeah. I loved when, now I forget the dude's name that Rhaenyra sent. The second he's there, he's like, I gotta tell Rhaenyra
Yeah.
this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Question 5. Do you like them making the connections to the Song of Ice and Fire and House of the Dragon? Like, what are your thoughts on that at all? I don't know. Because I'm not sure. I'm conflicted.
I have a lot to say, so Robbie, you go first.
That's not nice.
I don't want you to lose focus, but I'm rambling on.
I I get it, right? Obviously, like I said before, it's a prequel, so who's good? But we already know this stuff, right? The majority of it, the Daenerys, the White Walkers, and things like that. So I don't want to say it felt cheap for me, but I felt like it was a reach, kind of like I don't know. I don't know deep down with the book stuff, but I've seen Game of Thrones, so I understand it. But I don't know. It. I'm still trying to think how I feel about it, but I didn't like it, and it felt cheap. And I don't know. I don't have that much to say about it, so I'm intrigued to hear what Benny's got to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this was my favorite part of the episode. And I think that I think it almost gives you a little bit more than the books ever does. Or, I mean, obviously we're going to get the answer at some point, maybe, I don't know, in 50 years when the books finally finish coming out. But
No.
a lot of the book is trying to figure out who that prophecy, the prince that was promised, is about. And I don't know if this is the confirmation that it is Daenerys, or it's just because they're Targaryens and that's who they see as the person that's going to fulfill that prophecy. But is it John? Is it Stannis? Which it's definitely not Stannis. Is it is it
Manus?
Daenerys? Stannis the Manus. Is it Daenerys? And I think that this pushes you in that direction. Like, no, it's Daenerys, and Damon gets to see that. And there's a lot of stuff like, I'll leave the main White Walker. I don't know. I'm still not sold that that's the Night King. I still think it's one of those like
Lieutenant
soldier.
type of
Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that it shows, the dragon being dead. Does that mean, is that just him dead from a war? Is it the dying of all the dragons? Is it Rhaegar? Some people were saying, and he's walking through the Trident and seeing that happen. But just the fact that it shows you, like I said, that he's just a part of the story, and all the Targaryens, their purpose is to get to Daenerys. And Daenerys is going to be the thing that makes them the reason why they conquered Westeros in the beginning, is to get to that point. So they're the ones that save humanity. And I love that that's how they kind of clue Damon into that, because Rhaenyra could have told him all that stuff and it wouldn't have hit as hard as him seeing it, quote unquote, for himself and getting to that point of realization that like, oh, this isn't about me. Like as much as I want to make everything about me, I finally see something that makes the picture bigger than just me. And even if I die fighting this battle, it's worth it if we get to that point. So I really enjoy that. And I think it's one of the few times where we get something like we got a lot of stuff confirmed that happens later in the series with, season 7 and 8, because obviously we're past the books, but all that kind of stuff, you're like, they could definitely do it differently. But this was kind of the first thing that's like, ooh, I'm actually kind of intrigued as to how this plays into the end of the main series. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between as usual. Middleman Ryan, I'm in between you guys. Like I kind of agree. Like it feels kind of cheap, like kind of cheesy. Like they're trying to connect these things, even though there's really no specific connection. It's just linear history in an alternate, universe. Um, but I also do like the lore, all that kind of crazy stuff. I do think though that the ending of Game of Thrones cheapens it. Like you're saying, like, okay, maybe Daenerys is the princess that was promised or the prince that was promised, but like she didn't kill the White Walkers. I mean, maybe in the books she'll have something more to do with it, I guess, but the fact that Arya stabbed him with this dagger that's been passed down and whatever, like I kind of think it's cool that this dagger is, you know, does all this stuff, but it's also like kind of corny. It's like really like this dagger lasts for hundreds of years. Like, come on,
Valyrian steel, babe. Valyrian steel.
come on, no one's
But
gonna lose it. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm kind of blocking the Game of Thrones TV show out of
Out.
this because I feel like this is an actual book reader's interpretation. I think probably George is a little bit more involved in what they're telling or how they're portraying things because I think he sees the backlash that everything got. So yeah, I mean, if you're connecting it to the end of Game of Thrones, you're like, meh, who cares? She was stupid at the end and just burnt the city and then got killed.
Right.
But like when I'm looking through it, it's like to the prophecy and like to what I think it could mean book wise, I think it's really cool. And I think it could mean a whole lot more for the book storyline than it does necessarily. Like I didn't view it as connecting to the TV show as much as I viewed it connecting to Daenerys, the character. You know what I mean?
Fair.
I think my thing is off topic is like if you started something and you have this fantastic brain and all these characters you made up and it's all like tons and tons of things that you've made up in your brain, cities and people and backstories and all this like that, wouldn't you want to finish that before somebody else? I know I'm not, I know personally, but I'm sure he had input and stuff like that and how that was going to end for the TV show. But like, wouldn't you have wanted to finish all that and put things? I know it's probably tough, and writing and doing like maybe some writer's block and things like that and other obligations. But I think you'd want to see that finished before a TV show finishes what you kind of started.
I mean, he thought he was going to be done. I mean, which is wild to think about at this point. Like when the first season of Game of Thrones ended, like he released the fifth book. So I think he was like, by the time they catch up, I'm going to be done.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, even to get to that fifth book, when did the first season come out? 2011.
Something like that.
So
I think so.
the first book came out in 96. So even if you're keeping that pace, they were still probably going to catch up to you. And I mean, he said it's just, it's so much to keep track of. And the fourth and fifth book were supposed to be one book that he had to split up because it was getting too crazy. I forget which one he started, but he had to throw it out and start from scratch again. So I mean, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not, but
No, of
like,
course
it's
not.
just, and I wish we could have had him finish this stuff before we got, the TV show, but I don't know, man. I still, as much as I want to blame him, I still blame D&D for really like just being like, we're done with this. I always have said since that last season ended, like they should have just gave it to somebody else who cared and wasn't just looking to move on to the next thing. I don't know.
Yeah. I blame them too. I mean, I get it. Like, I've been in a big project and I'm just like, I just want to finish this. I don't care. But for something that's, loved by so many people, I don't know. Good conversation. Question 6. You bailing out Otto?
Who has Otto?
I
That's
don't
what I want to.
know.
That's what I want to know first before I start going bailing him out, because maybe I don't know, but I mean, I could have used Otto bailed out for these last couple episodes. I'll
Would've
tell you
been
that right
nice.
now. So I mean, based on that alone, I might have to bail him out.
Like, push that up to like season, episode 5 or 6, and show him, and then maybe you have like a couple of scenes with him in the jail and like you figuring out where is he and that type of shit. Like, I could have used that instead of Raina running around the countryside.
Yeah, we could have just who let Otto out, right?
Right.
That's the fucking name of the song. We just that's what it's about. Like that.
Who
Give me an
let
episode of that.
Otto out?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want another awkward conversation between Carlos and his bastard sons, who he can't have an emotional conversation with his own freaking offsprings. I mean, I don't know. Please, now you got me more angry when I should have gave it a 4 because I forgot that Otto was nowhere to be found, and we could have had an Otto episode. Or Otto could have been brought back into the picture. I don't know. I don't know who has Otto, but whoever's got him, hopefully you keep him comfortable.
Where Otto at? Where Otto at?
Wow.
I mean, we kind of already answered it, but my 7th question for the 7 Kingdoms is, are you back for season 3? I think.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Can't wait. I put a calendar notification up.
Wish time travel existed.
Yeah, I'm back. Of course, I'm
Of
back.
course.
I mean, like we have 2 seasons left. They can't exposition any more than they've already expositioned. I mean, we've got like this whole war supposedly takes, over the course of 2 years. It's a pretty short war, so we got a lot of stuff to get to. I mean, we are right up to the beginning of it getting crazy, so it's got to be jam packed. And here I am, just one more hit, just one more hit. The next hit is going to be the one that gets me over the hump. I promise. But
chasing that dragon.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm ready.
Thank God. I thank God you never went into teaching, because the way you grade, please, everybody be getting an A+.
Hey, everybody's got their favorite students.
All right, you're right.
Yeah, of course. I'm not only am I going to be back for season 3, but I'm probably going to read the book in the meantime. I'm definitely going to watch the whatever they're calling it, Night of 7 Kingdoms, Tales of Dunk and Egg. Probably reread that. I'm already like halfway through the book, the Song of Ice and Fire books. I'm an idiot.
Just a glutton for punishment.
Me too. I'm let me say, I'm already banging through Feast of Crows.
Wow.
I'm on yeah, I'm banging through it.
Love it.
Maybe I get the book. Maybe I get the book so I know what's happening. So I'm not disappointed when season 3 comes back in 2029, when Trump's in his fourth term as president.
All right, should we do the Iron Throne, or is there anything specific that you guys want to bring up? I know we didn't really touch on a lot of specific scenes, but I thought it was a good conversation.
No, I don't. I mean, feel like we've gone through enough of the storylines. I mean, we definitely left some out, but listen, you got All Shift X that's going to put out a probably 7-hour video on the season. So go follow him and watch that if you want someone to break down every little detail.
Love those videos.
I think I also think if like an alien came down and and had no idea what was going on, and watched these YouTube videos for the past eight weeks, based off Benny's scores, they would have thought this was the greatest show ever made. So
It's up there. It's top 15.
of this year, hopefully.
I mean, I think it could redeem itself, but it's always gonna like I'm always gonna say like season 2 was rough.
But even then, if you're binging it, you'd be like, "Hey, season 2 is a little bit slow, but I mean, right when you start season 3, you'd be fine."
But what a waste! What a
Maybe
waste
40.
of our time and everyone's time. It sucks that whatever if it was because of HBO, that's bullshit. If it's I feel like if it's creative, if it's the writers and showrunners and whatever, we're gonna see that in season 3 pretty early on, and we're gonna know that
Yeah.
it's like, all right, this is bullshit. But I don't know.
HB no.
HB no,
And by the way, your Max subscription is going up another $2 next month.
probably.
GFY.
Yeah, please. I just was blowing Peacock and I got a little
Yeah,
email saying I'm
$2.
going up $2. How dare you? Because they got to pay Snoop Dogg $500,000 a day.
Yeah,
They got the last name redacted bump, and now they're like, "Oh, we could charge more now."
That's it.
Yep.
Forget about it. They
You got
got
the
me.
going
They
great
sucked
bump.
me in with the sports. They sucked me right in with the golf.
motherfuckers.
And the big dog coming back. They sucked me in.
They got you. They got all of us. I'm subscribed to like all these things. Like an idiot.
One more thing to subscribe to. This podcast, please.
That's right.
Jump on board.
And it
Free.
doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah,
Nothing.
free.
I see
Come
some
on.
of the stuff y'all listening, y'all are watching. It's an abomination. It's embarrassing. 20,000 likes here, 20,000 follows here, 800 comments here for please, disgusting.
And the audio is trash. The video is trash. The
Videos like
people aren't funny.
like that. What's the video like when that's like zoomed? It's not even like standard picture. Everything's just zoomed up. You can't even see like the closed captions in the person's video and like the way they're talking, and everything's like a Twitter thing. Like disgusting. Well, you can watch us. You can watch Benny, give this show tens all across because he's a sycophant.
All right, let's do Iron Throne and get the hell out of here.
Don't yuck my yum.
No, what was he gonna say? What were you gonna say? Say
Don't yuck my yum. Let me eat, as the kids say. Let me eat.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. That's my fault. That's stupid. That's on me.
Does anyone want to start with Iron Throne for this episode?
I do, but I'll let you guys go so I don't pick anybody's.
Robbie, why don't you start? Since you disliked it the most, I want to hear I think I know who it is, but go ahead.
Yeah, my Iron Throne is Helena. We talked to my people at the Iron Bank, and after talking it over, we decided that we were going to go with Helena because we just enjoyed everything that she brought to the episode. I love visions. I love people who see visions. I love people who can shut people up with words. I think words are very powerful. I don't know. She just went from somebody who nobody just kind of she was like an afterthought to just being, extremely powerful. And the vision that she has and has had isn't something to joke about or to mess around with. And time to, as they say, put her on notice because her visions are real, and she's gonna have more visions, I think. And I'm here for it. I'm here for her just like shitting on people the way she shitted on Eamon was fantastic. I loved it. It was such an awesome moment in the show. One of my favorite moments in this entire series. I mean, it's not saying much, but I mean, other than that, she sits on my Iron Throne, Helena, because I was very surprised and I'm very intrigued by her visions, and I thought it was really cool how they handled that.
Agree. Well, I would have picked her if I went first, so I'm gonna go with wait, I just had Aegon. Big Robert Baratheon vibes to Aegon right now. Just give me something for the pain and let me die. He's just like I can't even fuck anymore. And that's
Yeah.
loved it. I think as much as Larys's creepy. I think it's possible that those two characters on a road trip to Essos could be a pretty entertaining story arc. I mean, we'll see if we
I
get
mean,
that, but
and
probably
even
all happen off screen.
Helena even pumped up that storyline a bit by telling Aemon that Aegon's going to sit on the throne again, and you're not going to be here to see it.
Yeah.
So what the hell does that mean?
She said a wooden throne, maybe a wheelchair.
He sits on a wooden throne now.
Don't you patronize me. Remind me real quick when you finish. I have a question to ask.
Okay. It's been long enough. It's been long enough. I'm bringing her back. She is back on the Iron Throne. Rhaenyra, oh, you are back on my Iron Throne. You are ready to FSU. If you know what that means, thank you. She's ready to do it. We've got the vision from what's his name? Daemon. We finally got adult Rhaenyra sitting on the Iron Throne. She's got all the chess pieces moving in her favor. She's got dragons for days. The only thing that might F her up is that little son of a bitch, Ulf. I got my eye on you, buddy. But it looks like she got two good dragon seeds with her that took over. She's got Adam and she's got Hugh. Who's in a better position right now? Alicent's in shambles. Aemon's crying. Bitch. Helena, not necessarily ready to go here or there. She's not ready to FSU. Aegon's dipping. Larys dipping. Otto's in a cage. I mean, Team Black on the Ascension. Rhaenyra all the way. At least I got 2 years of you sitting on my throne until we come back and you probably get murked in episode 1.
Oh,
good.
Please, one could dream. One could dream.
Good riddance.
No way.
She stinks.
She does not. How dare
Take
you?
your moping, take your reading books, and go somewhere. Never come back.
Speaking of moping, I mean Jace with the mope face of all time. And what Baela, is it Baela? Or is it Rhaena?
Baela's with Jace. Rhaena is in the Vale.
Okay, so Baela coming in and say, "Don't mope, stop moping," and he's literally got the biggest mope face. I'm not moping.
You're moping. Shut up.
That's your guys, though. That's your guys. That's your team.
Hey, listen, he's a young guy. Everybody had their emo phase.
That's true. Who would have thought by the end of season 2 we'd be a Team Green podcast?
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
I mean, you're the only one wearing green.
No, this is gray. This is gray.
Oh, match your attitude.
Hat. Black hat.
Looks pretty green to me.
Yeah, well,
it does look green.
Get your eyes checked, babe.
My eyes are checked, and I hate what I'm looking at.
You had a question?
My thing, Alicent. A ruse, or is she being serious?
I think she's serious.
I think she's serious too, but I think she will flip like this if she sees an opportunity.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen when she goes back and he's not there?
I don't know. She's probably
Stay
gonna
tuned.
see in 2 years.
Find out. Yeah, 2 years. Maybe 3.
Yeah, if we're lucky, 3.
Anything else about this episode or this season as a whole?
Good riddance.
It's a bad rubbish.
I'll tell my grandkids about how terrible the season was.
Yeah. No, again, just keep stepping on my balls. I'll keep coming back. All right. Well, thank you for hanging with us for 8 episodes again. Check us out next week. I hope it's a good birthday pick for movies, and then we'll get back into voting. But yeah, follow us. All that stuff's in the show notes. Subscribe to us here on YouTube or wherever you listen to on podcast. We love you. We love the support. Keep commenting. Robbie, tell them good night.
Good night, HBO. I hope you have enough money for fucking beat Bobby Flay's grandkids.
Bye, Rhaenyra. I miss you.
Feel it down in my plums. When I hear a sound, a rap at the door, my young son Gabriel walks in. My wife says, "No, Gabriel, leave." I said, "No, let the boy watch. Let the boy watch. He needs to learn the way I learned from my father, the way he learned."